Hi, I am Shoestring Jane from shoestringcottage.com, and today I just want to talk about some things that I've done to embrace a frugal lifestyle, and maybe things that you could do too if you need to save money, if you're on a budget, or if you've got a particular savings goal. So the first thing I did was to change my mindset. So rather than thinking, I feel really deprived, I can't have this, I can't have that, my friends are going on holiday, or they're doing up their house, or I'd really like a new car, or whatever, instead of thinking that, I would change my mindset and think, well, I have a goal. So yes, those things would be nice, but I am paying off my debt, or I am saving towards a house deposit, or whatever your goal is. It could just be that you have quite a low income and you want to get through the month. You want to pay your rent, you want to pay your bills, you want to get through the month without building up any debt. So that's number one, changing your mindset, just changing your focus slightly. Okay, so number two is change where you shop. So thinking of food, first of all, is we tend to get into a habit of a particular supermarket. We know where everything is, that kind of thing. But quite often there are cheaper ways to buy your food. So, for example, when I first started saving money, it was about the same time that Aldi and Lidl arrived in the UK. And they're so much cheaper. I couldn't believe it. I saved myself £30 to £40 on a family shop a week by shopping there. So consider the discount supermarkets. I think Morrison's is quite good as well if you've got one of those near you. Or if you have a fruit and veg market still in your town, if you do, that tends to be a really good place to buy your fruit and veg, particularly at the end of the day when they're trying to get rid of stuff really cheaply. For clothing and homeware, you don't have to go to really expensive department stores. You could go to B&M or Home Bargains, or buy secondhand. I'll come on to that later, by looking at charity shops, boot sales, etc. So the third thing that I recommend doing, and I certainly did to save money and embrace a frugal lifestyle, was to start planning our meals and writing a shopping list. So if you plan meals, you don't waste food because you plan for what you're going to need on certain nights. There might be nights when you know I'm going to be back late, maybe the kids have got football practice or whatever, so you need something quick. So rather than thinking there's nothing in, I can't be bothered to cook, at that point you've got something quick, pasta and pesto or something that you could do, you could have on a plate really quickly. You only buy what you need, so you don't waste food, as I said already. You can plan for cheaper meals. So you could plan for a homemade spaghetti bolognese rather than, buying it out of a jar, using a jar, convenience foods. Also helps you avoid those expensive takeouts when you really can't be bothered, you've got no inspiration, you've got no food in the house. You just think, oh God, I'll just get Deliveroo, whatever. So it stops those moments. And when you're really focused on saving money and embracing frugality, then that's really good. Planning ahead like that is really good. It also means you can have a look and shop from your cupboards first. So you go through everything, doing an inventory of what's in your cupboards, and use that first. So there's things like, meat at the back of the freezer that's been there for 2 years. It doesn't happen, but you use it as you go along rather than waste anything. And number 4, whilst still on the subject of food, is learn to cook. If you want to embrace a frugal lifestyle, learning some basic cooking skills is just so useful. You don't have to be a pro chef, but it's easy enough to find cheap, quick, easy meals for yourself or your family that don't take very long, don't demand a lot of skill, and can save you a lot of money. So there's cookbooks like Jamie Oliver's quite good, or loads of stuff on YouTube. There's loads of internet recipes. I like BBC Good Food, it's really good. Just try it. If you think you can't cook, just have a go at something really basic. You'd be surprised. It's not really an art. Well, it can be an art, but most of us can cobble together something that's really quite delicious and that's inexpensive, really, that everybody will be pleased to eat, and then you'll save yourself some money too. And number 5 is embracing DIY. So that could be when you're doing up your house, but it doesn't just mean, I don't just mean DIY in terms of painting and decorating. Just can you do something rather than paying somebody to do it? So do your own cleaning, do your own gardening. Can you fix something yourself rather than pay somebody to fix something? You know, you might think, well, I could pay someone to put up a bookshelf for me. If you look on YouTube, you can probably learn how to put up a bookshelf. It's quite basic. Can you upcycle something rather than buy something new? If you've got an old chest of drawers, you think that's really tatty, could you sand it down, give it a coat of paint, a whole new lease of life? And if you look at some of the upcycling Facebook groups, they're absolutely amazing, and people make beautiful new pieces of furniture out of something that other people would just take to the tip. It's really worth considering that. If you've got a garment that's got a little hole in it, can you get out needle and thread and repair it yourself? Again, it's not really that difficult, but if you've never done it before, have a look on YouTube. If the sole is coming off your shoe, can you use a bit of glue and repair it rather than throwing them in the bin? So just think about stuff you can do for yourself so you're more self-sufficient and you save a bit of money. Number 6, so this really is good if you've got a family, is to take food out with you. So if you're having a family day out, you can spend 50 quid just on, you know, burgers and drinks and things when you're out. If you pack a picnic and take some drinks and some snacks and some sweets, you'll save yourself a fortune. Similarly, if you are going to the office, not many of us are doing that at the moment, but we will someday. If you're going to the office, then just pack a lunch. It's so much cheaper just to take a sandwich or a salad or soup or something, rather than paying every day, paying £5 to £10 on a lunch and coffee and drinks out. Take them all with you. Pack a flask, or take, you know, coffee granules and some tea bags to work with you and some milk. Take snacks, keep snacks in your handbag or in your pocket, so that, you know, if you're out and about and you're hungry, you've got something there. You don't have to go and spend money buying something expensive. Number 7 is be aware of your energy usage. So put a jumper on, train your children to put a jumper on, train them to turn the lights out rather than put the heating on every time. Everyone layer up, have some throws. Don't sit with all the lights blazing in every room when you're only in one room, just have it in that room. Plug gaps, so if you've got a draft under the door, just, you know, roll up a towel or something, or get a draft excluder. You can fit foil behind your radiators, which blasts the heat back out into your room. We've got that in several rooms. Get some thick linings on your curtains. Insulate your house if you can afford to do that, or actually see if there's any free schemes. Quite often there are. We got ours done free through British Gas years ago, and it really did make a difference. We had the loft insulated and the wall cavities as well. Wear layers. Only heat the hot water that you know you're going to need. Don't have the hot water on for 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening if you're not actually going to be using that. So maybe an hour would do, or maybe you can just turn it on half an hour before you're going to have a bath or a shower or something. So just be aware of your energy usage. Don't leave phone chargers plugged in. They're still using a small amount of electricity, that kind of thing. Just be aware of it, and then you'll start to save a bit of money on your electricity and your gas. Number 8 is one of my favourite things, is to see what you can find for free. There's quite a lot that you can find for free once you start looking, and if you're not embarrassed about it. Join your local free cycle group. You just do an internet search and you can find that, or Frugal is the other one. Even Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree and those kind of apps quite often have people giving stuff away for free because it saves them a trip to the tip. So you could get furniture, clothing, garden tools, seeds, all sorts of things. So it's really worth getting those kind of things. And it's also good if you need to give something away as well. It saves you a trip to the charity shop or the tip, so you can just offer it up and people will come and collect it. You can look in skips as you're going past people's houses. Quite often there's some nice things sticking out the top, and you can knock on the door and ask if you can help yourself to them. People don't care. It makes a bit more room in their skip. They can put more stuff in there. Sometimes people have a free sign on things. That's happened a lot during lockdown, I've noticed. People have had a clear out, there's nowhere to take it, they've just put it for free, and we've picked up things like cans of paint and a little cupboard and that kind of thing. So be aware of that. And when it comes to food, use the Olio app. I really love this app. It stops food going to waste. So you might have an individual who's got some bits they don't want, so they'll offer it up on the app. or you've got big cash and carries, or the supermarkets like Tesco's does it a lot. At the end of the day, they've got a load of bread or meat or salad or whatever, and rather than put it in the bin, they give it to a food waste champion, somebody who's volunteered for Olio. They take it to their house, they advertise it on the app, you ask for it, and you go and collect it. It's brilliant. We've had loads of stuff. I haven't bought bread for ages because of the Olio app. And number 9, buy second hand. I find that I can often get better quality by buying second hand than I could afford new. During 2021, I've made a pledge to buy nothing except second hand, but it's not really that much of a challenge because it was what I was doing more or less anyway. So again, boot sales, if you can find them, they are just about opening now. Jumble sales, the Scouts quite often run jumble sales, they're quite good. Charity shops, Facebook, Gumtree, eBay, apps like Spock. There are loads of places where you can buy second-hand items and it will save you money. So it's good for the planet too, so it's worth considering. Number 10, find free or very cheap stuff to do. There's a lot out there when you start to look. I mean, there will be. I know we're still just coming out of lockdown in the UK, but there will be events that are going on over the summer that are free. You just need to keep an eye on the tourist information boards on their websites as well in your town. There's quite often talks or little festivals and things you can go and do for free or that don't cost very much at all. So keep an eye out for those. Use your library, and libraries are brilliant. They're just such a good resource, and you don't have to just have books. You think of them as physical books, they do e-books, and I use the BorrowBox app and listen to a lot of audio books, which are fantastic, and it's all free with your library card. So the thing with libraries is that if we don't use them, there'll be a good reason for them to be cut. So if you want to have your local library, use them, take your kids there, sit and read books with them. They're just such a great resource, and they have things on at the library as well, sometimes free events. Exercise for free. You can join a gym if you know you're going to use it all the time, but how many of us join gyms that never use them? Walking, we have dogs, so we have to walk anyway. We have to walk a lot. Running just around your local area is all free. Some places, local councils have those little mini gyms in parks that you can go and use as well. Follow YouTube videos. I mean, you could do yoga. I do yoga myself. I am a trained yoga teacher anyway, but you could do it from books or just see what's happening on YouTube. Any type of exercise really. So you can do all of that for free, and it's fun, something fun to do, and it keeps you healthy. Have friends around when we're allowed, and get everybody to bring a dish. So nobody has to bear the expense of the whole meal, or get somebody to do the first course, you do the main course, they can bring a dessert, that kind of thing, bring wine. It's a really cheap way, potluck supper, to have friends round. And although I like going to the cinema once in a while, it is quite expensive, and we use Netflix, and now TV is good as well. It's got some good documentaries on there, and that's really worth the expense of that. We use that a lot. Plus we have a Freeview box, literally costs nothing. You get hundreds of channels for free. So consider those kind of things. There's always something you can do for free if you really think about it and be creative. So those were 10 ways that I embrace a frugal lifestyle to save money. If you want to find more tips on money saving, check out my website, shoestringcottage.com. Don't forget to like or subscribe to this video, and I will be back with some more. Bye for now.